Welcome back, guys. We are YBT number 7 recap. We brought Ethan right on my back for the recap. So let's just jump straight into it. So we got the squad here. Hold up. Ethan, we got Dayton.
Yo!
Qualifying starting soon. So, game plan for today, if you guys didn't watch the What's in the Bag number 7, go check that out right now. We were planning on reality level urethane, purple slammer, at the top of the bag, and then going down to ion pro solid, and then going down to night road eventually when I need more flare marks. When ion pro solid starts burning up too much, starts getting too slow and just pushing too much, go to night road and play the same line. And so where were we? Hold up. We were standing about 20. Yeah, we were planning on playing up 7. So first shot in practice, I was standing about 24. Yeah.
Alright, so this is my segment of the recap for YBT number 7. As you can see, I'm in my kitchen instead of my living room. There's a lot going on in there, so didn't really want to have that noise in the background. But going into it, I just wanted to, stay right with my TNT. But in practice, it didn't look too good. It was hooking really early. It was burning out very fast, so I had to switch into my reality pretty fast. And in the middle of the third game, I switched from my reality to my Damn Converge Pearl for a few shots. And then that was 2 weeks, so I had to throw my new ball, which was the Rockstar Amped. But going into this, I thought that they were going to be hooking a lot and the back ends were going to be fresh because they normally are at Roseland. So I just went in thinking I could throw my TNT to the right and it wouldn't skate, which it did. It didn't hook at all because it was hooking early and the back ends weren't very fresh. So it was basically just didn't work at all. So I had to switch very fast. I didn't even throw a shot in the real match with my TNT. I immediately switched to my reality for the first game. And that's basically it going into it.
Alright. Ignore the wing. I just woke up from a long nap. So, yeah. Game 1, we started off with a 5-bagger with the purple hammer. So, I did not have a mark at all. I was looking at 9 at the arrows and then just at the line. I don't know. I started doing this thing in my pre-shot routine because I kept missing in during practice. I would sit there at the foul or with my ball and practice swing a couple times. So yeah, I feel like that helped me stay slow. And yeah, so I threw a 5-bagger for the first 5. I had the front 5. Ooh, I was getting nervous. No, I'm kidding. And then 10 pin, and then I missed it left because it hooked at the last second because we were on a short pattern. I forgot to put the pattern up. We'll put it right here. Yeah. So first game, I just remember throwing the slammer up the right side. It honestly, towards the end of the first game, started backing up a little bit, and I had to move a touch right. I was standing 24, like I said. I was on 22, I think, for the second part of the game. So yeah, that was my game 1. We were on the Empire 43-44. So I couldn't take that as a fair judgment because you guys know how the wall makes it light and temperature. It's so weird how it works, but yeah, I couldn't really get a good read. So that was my game 1.
All right, so for game 1 recap, started off with the reality, like I said, and then I tried to move a little bit further right with it because in practice I was standing on 22 and it went really nice into the pocket, and first shot that I threw, it misses the head pin to the right. I threw the exact same shot that I did in practice that struck. So I leave the 1-2 because I missed the head pin to the right. I chop the 1 off of it, and I do the same thing in the next frame, except I move 2 right. So I moved to board 20 to throw my shot, and I just missed a little bit at the bottom, same thing, and I chopped the 1 straight back. So then after that, I moved another 2, so I'm standing on 18 now. And after I do that, I start slowing it down just a little bit more than I was, and I just rotated it a bit more with my hand and just made sure not to get it near the gutter because they hook off the gutters. And so basically, yeah, that was it for the rest of the game. I shot 195, so I'm -5 after 1. And yeah, that's basically it for game 1.
Game 2, we moved down to 17 and 18. So same line, same everything. I had to literally, yeah, this game was the game where I was same line. Cut after 1 was -5, and I'm in after 1 because boy, locked in the first game with a 5-bagger. Way to go, me. Yep, throwing the slammer up 10 again. No, yeah, but this game was pretty boring. I'd strung a couple, and then I didn't open in the 10th. I opened in the 8th, which then I tried overcorrecting myself, left a 6-10 in the, yeah, I had the front 3. Dude, I was just on it today, in the first half of the games. But yeah. I was trying to do my best Belmonte impression. You see the arm sleeve? It's pretty tough, Okay, I was not trying to be Belmo. I was not trying to be Belmo. No, but yeah. That was my game 2. Yep, Purple Hammer up there. Yeah, okay.
Game 2 recap for YBT number 7. So, I was going off a pretty decent game of 195, pretty well executed. So, I go into game 2, just same mindset, just throw it up the right, don't do anything fancy with it, just rotate it. And the lanes that we moved to were not hooking. So, I throw my reality, same spot, same rotation, same revs, and it just coasts. So for the first 3 frames, it doesn't work, so I switched to my Damper Verge Pearl. Throw that for 2 shots. I was standing on 22 with that, and after the first shot I threw with it, I was standing on 25. After when I saw my Verge do this, I moved right back to 22, and it was still too weak, so I threw my Rockstar amped. I moved back to 25, and that didn't make enough hook, so I moved back to 22 again, and I stuck with that for the rest of the game, and I just kept grinding, making my spares, but I kept leaving splits, so I had a lot of opens, and I ended up with a 149, so I'm -56, and after 2 I believe I was under the cut.
I mean, there's a reason they call me Big Game Goody. Nobody calls me that. I just like to think that people call me. 258 the third game. I moved 2 left, so I'm on 24, 25, 20, 26, 27 board. I was standing in between them. And, yep, slammer still. And then, but this time I had way more hold on this pair. What pair were we on? We were on like 25, 26 or something like that. So yeah, I was just way more confident in my shot. I had more hold. I could miss at the bottom a little bit, and the ball would bounce off the gutter, and or I'd miss in a little bit, but I would just flat it a little bit more. I left a few 10 pins doing that because the ball's going like this through the pins. But this at the bottom, it would roll, and it was money. Struck out on the 10th for 258. So, yeah, clean game. That's what I'm most proud of. Clean game. I didn't miss a huge amount of spares until match play. Actually, no, yes, I did my 4th game. We'll get to that in a bit. But, game 3, yeah, cut, after 2 was minus 28, so I was still in. I was plus 7. This game put me plus 65, so going into game 3, going into game 4, I was plus 65, which is really good in a tournament like this when, like, I think the highest someone's been all year is 820 something, so yeah.
Alright, game 3 for YBT number 7, which was my high game for the day. I had 256. So basically what I did off of the last pair was I went to the next pair. I was still standing on 22. I should have ghost moved. I was standing on 22, threw a good shot, and it almost rolled a 2-pin forward. So I move 2 boards right. I'm standing on 20. And basically I just kept the same line. I just moved 2 boards right with my Rockstar amped, and I had a 6 bagger with it, and I kept grinding, making spares. I made all my 10 pins up to this point, and I pulled it back from being minus 56 to being dead even with a 256 game, which I thought was pretty nice.
Alright, so game 4, we start out hot. Actually, I opened in the first frame. I missed the 10 pin a little bit right. Yeah. So, and then I went double. And then 4th frame, roll the clip. Literally the worst possible thing that could have happened happened. So, where I was sitting, I learned right there and right there that there was a little splash of water under my seat. It was not my water, because I had my Dunkin' drink. Hi, Mom. Thank you. I ended up with a 160 that game because I fell, and then I was just more worried about my shoe and all that. It was a grinder. We went to my Ion Pro Solid, and I had a decent look. I literally just couldn't get the ball in. I kept getting it out to the 3 board and leaving 1-2 combos. So I just kept leaving makeable stuff at that point. I was plus 65, so I ended plus 25. So I went 825 for 4. That's how many games we bowled. So I'm I wasn't too mad about that. Okay, I did not get hurt. You see me cannonballing on the approach. I did not get hurt. It hurt my pride more. I was more embarrassed than anything. that was really bad. That was like horrible. And yeah. So that summed up my qualifying. We went ball progression went as planned so far. Slammer up the 7 board. And then we went pro solid, and we're working off where pro solid is. So let's jump into match play.
Alright, and for the fourth and final game of qualifying for YBT number 7, I had a 191, so overall -9 for the tournament for qualifying. Basically, I just stuck with the same game plan I did for game 3. It's just I had just less luck than I did. I just kept ring 10ing, block 7. I even had a solid A in there, but I threw one bad shot and it big forward through the face, so it was a pretty well executed game. It just didn't come. It came down to luck, so it was basically just me having bad carry, still with the Rockstar amped. But yeah, that was basically it for game 4. It was just the same plan, just bad carry. Mind you, up to this point, I am 100% on my 10 pins. I'm 6 for 6 on them. Mind you, I use a reactive ball to shoot them, even though I'm two-handed. I do not throw back a ball at them. I throw it straight. I flatten my hand out. But yeah, that's about it for qualifying. Now on to match play.
So we qualified 5th. Ethan, where'd you qualify?
Qualified 9th because 8 people weren't plus. I'm pissed.
Ethan, who is one of those people?
Yours truly, Landon Goodfellow.
I shot 825 for 4. I shot 160 my last game, or that would have been way higher. What's the game plan?
We're gonna try to stay right with the left start amp. Did really good, went 250, 190 because of bad carry.
So I was throwing urethane for the first little bit, and then I fell. Yep, and then we went to the blue ball because blue ball is good. So match play game 1, we that game was really rough. 171, which yes is not great. The other kid struggled just as much. He opened in the 10th and shot 156, so that could have been a close match. Throwing the Ion Pro Solid, same line where I was throwing urethane pretty much. And that ball towards the end was like, it was okay. I was still confident that I could make it work. Next game I shoot 196, he shoots 202, so I won by 8 that game. I was 3-6-7. Guys. And they shot 359 first game of match play. Yeah. First game of match play, or first match play. I don't know. I was really nervous. First ever time competing in the big dogs, competing in the classic division. So no expectations showing up. So I'm just happy to be here. So why not just? So I was going through this carefree. I lose. I made it this far. I win it. I made it that far. I don't know. I was having fun throwing the ball today too. Yeah. All right. Ethan's gonna give you a rundown of his match play, and then I will take over the rest of the video.
All right, and we have made it to match play. I ended up qualifying 9th with a -9. 8 people went plus. This is the most that have gone plus in a while, from what I've seen. But I ended up going against this kid named Matthew Noose, and he's another two-hander, firing it up the gutter with a lot of revs. So if he just hit the head pin, he struck, which wish I had that kind of power, but yeah, you get what you get. But so I started off the match basically how I started or ended match or qualifying, just sticking with the Rockstar amped out to the right, just not throwing it too hard because then it won't hook. But eventually, by the end of the first game, I had to move left and slow it down a little bit, and I ended up throwing two different balls on the lanes. I ended up throwing my Dim Converge Pearl on the left lane and my Rockstar Amped on the right lane because the left lane was hooking a little bit more, so the Verge could get through the fronts better because the people who were bowling on my pair were really breaking them down. And so basically what I did was I had to throw two different balls because they were breaking down very weird. But anytime that he gave me an opening I didn't capitalize, I would miss left and I would miss the head pin. So I couldn't capitalize on the openings that he was making for me. So that's inevitably went down into my downfall. This is very apparent because I have only bowled 3 games in the past 2 weeks, so I was not physically ready to bowl on a sport shot for 4 to 6 games, or even longer if I had gotten that far. But all in all, for like what I did and what I did, I could have done better. But overall, he was just a better bowler. Nothing I can do about that. Now here's what I think I did overall. So for basically how I was, and like physically, since I didn't bowl very much during the 2 week span between last YBT and this one, I think I did pretty well. I executed better than I thought I was, especially since I had very little to no practice. The last time I bowled was the night before, and that was after a 1.5 week hiatus from bowling. So I think I did pretty well for how little practice I had. And hopefully next one I'll have more practice because school league is starting back up and I'm going to have more matches and practices. So I'm just hoping that I do better next time and win it again. That'll be it for me from YBT number 7 recap. See ya.
Alright, game 2 match play. Like I said, I'm taking over from here on out. Ethan struggled in match play. Yeah, this pattern, you could repeat the same shot 150 times and maybe 120 times with strike. It was weird. This kid in first round, he shot like 250, 210. So I was kind of nervous facing this kid a little bit. So I went 212 first game. He shot 204. I struck out in the 10th in this one. And then, yeah. So I was throwing Ion Pro Solid, which ball's best ball I've ever thrown. Go get yours today. Okay, I'm kidding. I am not sponsored by anybody. Actually, yes, go get yours at BC Pro Shop. Then 210 to 174, he opened twice back to back, and then I shot lights out from there. I ended up claiming that one by 31 pins, shot 422, and then you guys do the math because I forgot to write it down. What his total was, but yeah. So this is my first time making it to the Final Four. We're just gonna do this all in one clip. I am so nervous. This kid has been the favorite to win it since match play. Qualified 8th. I qualified 5th. So I'm not the underdog. That's weird. Because, like, yeah, he was throwing the ball probably the best out of anybody in match play. He ended up winning the entire tournament, but, yeah. So, 128 first game. I missed a lot of makeable spares. And he did not miss. He shot 192. Actually, that means he did miss a bit. But, he shot 192. I shot 128. My Ion Pro Solid was just sailing. I should have gotten out of the ball way sooner than I did. I needed to, like, that ball from its asymmetry was just like just sailing and being way too slow for the condition that I needed for it to be off the spot and in pocket. So it was just hitting the 3-pin almost every time. I was leaving a lot of 1-2s. I spread all my 1-2s today. And then the second game, the last game of the day, I shot 221. 10th frame, I was just standing left and beaming it to the right side and screwing around it. Yeah. I went to my night road because I was like, I need a more flaring ball. I need a ball that's going to react well in these conditions. Night road was there for me. And yeah. So all in all, I'm going to take today as a success. First time in the Final Four, and it was in the Classic Division, which I didn't even know I could compete in because I haven't had the best success. I ended up 4th in points for Scratch Division, and then I was 4th in average too, but the first 2 people in average had 10 games on the season, so I was honestly 2nd in points, or 2nd in averages with a 179 on Sports Shot, which is actually really good. All that resets though second half, so I'm averaging 206. Unless they take match play, I average 197 or 196. So all in all, I'll take today as a success. It was a good day. Ethan struggled a little bit in the first half of the day, and then in match play, Dayton did not make the cut. He struggled, but all in all, it was a good day. We will see you YBT. Actually, no, I have a couple of varsity matches this year that I'm going to try to get videos on. So we'll see you guys when we see you. Bye.